So Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Ted Cheeseman once again, the British super welterweight champion. How does it feel to get that belt back?
Yeah, still buzzing to be honest. I've managed to finally get a decent sleep last night after soaking it all up, and I'm just feeling happy to be in such a good position again. Confidence back. Another two great wins in a row, but especially with that one was a great finish and great win and a tough fight against a really good kid. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what's next for myself, but being patient and enjoying my rest at the moment.
Let's talk through the fight a little bit. Obviously, you had that fourth round where it looked like you might get him out of there. You got obviously caused that massive bruise under his eye, kept hitting him with big shots, clean shots, and he just wouldn't go over, but it looked to be a pivotal point in the fight. When you got back to the corner at the end of that round, were you kind of pumped up, or did you feel maybe you'd let him off the hook a little bit?
No, I think if you watch it, for a lot of time I was stepping on him. But then if you see at one point, I knew sort of he weren't ready to go yet. And I could hear Tony saying, all right, now look, don't keep like throwing loads. Just pick one at a time now, one at a time. You know what I mean? Look for if one shot's going to take him out, he's going to go. Don't just keep throwing loads. And it never come then. And when I come back, I thought to myself, you know what? Keep like going. Like keep going at that pace, like kind of a decent pace. Don't go overdo it. And when I feel like I need a rest, take a break. Don't put too much into it because he needs big rounds now. Do you know what I mean? At that time, I felt like I was probably 4 rounds up. So he needed a few big rounds. And knowing how fast I started, it would have took something out of him to then have to try and dig deep and pull some rounds back. I knew it'd take a lot out of him. So I knew using my experience and getting him into them championship rounds, taking a bit out of him, and then stepping on the gas then that I'll take over in the fight again. But obviously it came with a lovely knockout.
He came back into it in the middle rounds. I think there was a point, I think it was round 8, when he was pushing you back a little bit. And I was thinking, is this starting to tilt the other way? And then you came straight out for round 9 and started pushing him right back to the ropes and into the corners. Was that like a mental thing on your part to kind of show him that you wouldn't be bullied?
Yeah, and it's sort of listening to instructions of Tony. You know what I mean? If Tony didn't want me to sit in them with him yet. You know what I mean? Obviously, I was sort of feeling like I was ready to start sitting in there with him and try and bully him. You know what I mean? To break his heart a bit. Tony kept saying, no, look, just let the straight shots go fast. You look for the slips and counters and just take your time. Don't overdo it. You know what I mean? So I was sort of still saving and using my feet. Tony was saying, look, just try and use your feet. Don't stand in there too much and take the shots. Try and move your feet instead of standing there and taking them on the gloves. And then, obviously, when it came into round 9, I could just feel him fading, feel his power fading a bit. And me and Tony said, all right, look, now, last 4 rounds, it's only 12 minutes. Come on, step the pace up now. Start pressing on the gas. Once I started pushing him back to the ropes, I could feel like he weren't doing as much. He was happy to sit there on the ropes and just burst to make it look like he was still in the fight, you know what I mean, and still there. But he didn't want to overexert himself. And then, obviously, I think it was in the 11th round, it looked like he hit me with a good shot, but Tony was saying to me, I could hear Tony in the corner saying, look, open up now. There's not much left. He ain't got much left. Open up. That's when I started letting the shots go and taking the risk. You get what I mean? I was leaving myself a bit more open, but to land the big shots and good shots in him. And I could just feel him going. And when them shots landed, I knew he never had much left. And I knew once I landed that left hook, I never automatically went to the corner for the count because I just felt it was done. When I see him go down and sort of lift his head slightly, and it's like I knew that it was over. Do you know what I mean? When he got up, he would be on shaky legs, and ref would have to stop it.
Talk us through that finish a little bit, because you're in the 11th round of a really gruelling fight. You felt you were ahead, but it was still a tough fight on your body. You must have been starting to tire at least a bit. You stunned him with a right hand, and then suddenly the moment's there. If you can't let him off the hook, and you hit him with a right left hook very, very quickly, seize the moment. How do you find that when you're already tired, it's been a really hard fight, but you know you've only got a couple of seconds to do it?
The long hard camps Tony puts us through, and we do certain exercises before sparring And as soon as we get out after like going into the spar, so we're tired before we're going into the spar. And then when we're getting out of the spar, he's putting us through the exact same circuit to sort of like put us in take us out of our comfort zone. You know what I mean? And so we know we've got plenty left, like in the tank. You know what I mean? As much as obviously fights get you tired and you look tired and there's nervous energy, there's loads of stuff that makes you look tired and sometimes be a bit more sloppier. But you always know when you get to them last few rounds, if you've trained hard, you know you've got it in you to leave it in there. So instead of, it's like, for me, what I look at is when I boxed Scott Fitzgerald, I was constantly pinging the jab, making a miss and countering. But after the counters, I was moving and just taking my time. But if you watch this fight, when I was landing the uppercuts, I was constantly looking for like a right hand after or another shot. You know what I mean? There was something. There was another phase. It weren't just like I was going pop shot, move. It was like hit again. You know what I mean? Make sure that when I'm making a miss, that I'm making it count. You get what I mean? And listen, I felt like I bagged energy in there. And what helps as well, I think, when you got a fighter and you can feel, as I say, where I'm experienced, you can feel how a fighter looks, how much energy you think they got. And I could feel that there weren't much left in the tank with JJ. And it was the right time to step on the gas.
Now, you've had 20 fights now as a pro. I think 9 of them, I was checking earlier, have been for titles. You've had one of the toughest, I can't even call it an apprenticeship. I mean, one of the toughest early parts of your career of any British fighter in recent memory. Do you ever feel, and I know you're a warrior, but don't you ever feel like saying to Eddie, give me an easier one for the next one, just once in like the last 5-10 fights?
You know what? I'll be totally honest with you. I was speaking about it today, and I thought to myself, when I had him out in that 4th round, everything was sort of going my way in the fight. As much as it's quite a fast pace, everything was going my way. And it was like, bang, I landed that shot, and I thought, this is done here. And to be honest, no disrespect to JJ, no disrespect to anyone, I think if the ref wanted to jump in then, the ref could have jumped in that round, you know what I mean? One of the Sky people come up to me after and told me, like, I landed 14 clean right hands straight after hurting him. And it was like, if the ref jumped in, no one would have complained. And after that round, I thought, bloody hell, like, he's stuck in there. I thought it could have been an easy night then. But then in my head, straight away, automatically, I thought, now this is going to be the longest night. Now I'm going to have to dig deep. But I know I've got it in me. I've done it before. And I know, like I said, I use my experience perfectly in this fight. I think everything come together really this fight. All the transitioning, my improving, the stuff we've worked on, all picking bits out of each fight and brought it into to me as one fighter. Do you know what I mean? I'm performing as a solid fighter. Obviously, there's still loads of room for improvement, but as an all-round fighter, I've got 10 times better since the Garcia fight, and I'm just keeping on improving.
No, I completely agree. I just think about an hour after the fight, maybe less, Anthony Fowler was tweeting saying, yeah, me and you next, Ted. I just thought, give the guy a break. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you fought Fitzgerald, obviously Conway, although, you know, it probably should have been a win, but was a draw. Still a tough fight. Garcia, of course. I'm sure they could find you someone like a tough, durable foreign opposition, a voluntary for the British, where you could have an easier night, but work on things that you've done in the gym rather than have to go to war every time.
Yeah, to be honest, listen, I was speaking it with Tony today, and like the real thing is, I'm now in the domestic scene. Look, take Liam Smith out of it; he's at world level. He's past like fighting at British title level and stuff. I'm the daddy of the domestic scene. You get what I mean? I'm the governor in the domestic scene. So I've got to not worry about what they want. They got to worry about what I want. You know what I mean? And with Tony and Charlie sorting out all this stuff, I'll just let them get on with it. Listen, if the fight with Fowler next was the right fight, that it would happen. But listen, I would love to avenge the defeat against Scott Fitzgerald. I feel Scott Fitzgerald clearly beat Fowler and put him on his arse and beat him. He beat me on a points decision where a lot of people believed I won. Do you know what I mean? So if any fight I would want British, like domestically, as a big fight would be the Pitts fight. Do you know what I mean? So listen, I want to see my IBF ranking in April once the rankings come out, because obviously they update every month. And when I beat Sam Eaton, I think he was 4 or 5 in IBF, and I took the 8th place. now I've just beat JJ Metcalf, who's 5th. And the thing was, Egerton fight was an exciting fight. It was a proper up and down fight, but it was close. But I felt I'd done enough to deserve to win, and I pushed on from there. But this fight was a real dominant performance. I showed my experience. I've showed what I've been improving on, and it's like through my social media stuff. I was saying today, like normally, even when I win, 95% of comments are negative, 5% is positive. But this is the first time I've ever looked on social media and 95% is positive and 5% negative. And I'm getting so much support from people in America that watch it on Dazan and stuff. And so much support from everyone saying Ted's probably the most entertaining British fighter actively right now. Who wouldn't pay to watch Ted Cheeseman? So everyone's excited about me. I'm back to where I wanted to be. Do you know what I mean? I made a big statement there Saturday night. And for me, I think I hold the ace card with everything. And I just got to see what Tony and Charlie bring up for me.
So with that IBF ranking, like you said, you beat Eggington, who was top 5, Metcalf the same. You could be on the fringe now of a world title eliminator.
Yeah, 100%. And listen, but I come in this sport. When I started boxing at 12-year-old, no, you don't think about the Olympics. Don't watch the Olympics go, I'm going to be a boxer, because I watch the Olympics 90% of the time. You watch Ricky Hatton when you're growing up. You watch Mike Tyson, and you think, I want to be a world champion. And that's what I wanted to be. And whatever brings me closer to achieving that goal, if Tony and Charlie believe that's the right thing for me, that's what I want. You know what I mean? For me right now, I'm sitting here being patient. As I said to you, I'm so much more financially comfortable in my life. My life's a lot better. I'm not in a rush. I said on the interview openly, usually I'd be texting Charlie now. Who can you get me this person? Can you get me that person? I don't do that no more because I might as well not have a manager. I might as well manage myself. You know what I mean? I might as well train myself. Let them deal with it. That's their job to do. And for me, I'm just going to train, dedicate myself and perform the best I can when I do get these fights.
Do you ever worry about miles on the clock? Not so much now, but if you are going to go to European and then world level, that you're going to have too many wars at this level?
Listen, no one wants too many wars, but I just think it's my style of fight. You know what I mean? My style of fight. Even I boxed a lot of times on Saturday, but when you're in with these good fighters, it's hard not to. If you go in rain, you're going to get wet. If you get what I mean. So it's hard, right? And for all the hard fights I've had, for all the bad plays I've been, it's probably the freshest and best I look as a pro on Saturday night. So I think sometimes I've just made sure my service history was good. So the mile, sometimes you get a good car, it's got a lot of mileage and it keeps going well as long as you keep servicing it right. It keeps going and I feel fresh, I feel good. And like now, again, there's loads of stuff I can pick out the fight from with Tony and go over with Tony to improve on, because I boxed at that level of European, even though my head weren't there and things like right. I boxed at that level, so I know what I got to do to be successful at that level. So for 2 years, I've been working on things to make sure I'm ready for when I get that chance to go back at that level. So for me, all it's about is keep improving, staying dedicated, and as long as I do that, listen, everyone wants to see me box. Everyone enjoys watching me box. I just need a bit of luck. You know what I mean? I need an opportunity, need luck. And as long as I get that, I believe I can go all the way.
Is that the most satisfied you've been after a victory, certainly as a pro?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Because, as I said to you, usually it's very negative. Even when I win, you know what I mean? It's very negative. And even walking to the ring, do you know what? Walking to the ring Saturday night, after that win against Sam Eggett and stuff, I haven't felt so confident going into a fight as when I boxed Paulie Upton or Senior Byfield, that sort of time when I was at them fights, when I was feeling good, I was on the up. I hadn't felt so good walking to the ring. I weren't nervous one bit. I was just confident on performing and doing the best I could. And I believed in my ability. I told everyone in the press conferences I had plan A, B and C, which I used all three. You know what I mean? And I told everyone that I felt I was better at every aspect I could be. And I boxed better than him. I out-fought him. I out-toughed him. So I don't think, as much as obviously, like I said, there's always room for improvement, but there weren't much more I could do better Saturday night.
And now is it just spending a bit of quality time with the family before you get your next date?
Yeah, obviously, listen, look, when you have them tough fights, like you get your hand bruised up, you get, like, I got a little cut, stuff, you need time to freshen your body up again, let your body rejuvenate before you go back into a tough camp, you know what I mean? Because when we do these camps, they're not easy, you know what I mean? And when you're fighting these big fights, you go to a peak, you know what I mean? You're not just having a fight, getting back in the gym, training again, and then all of a sudden you got a fight date and you fight in 4 weeks. You start from where you're not the greatest fitness. You've enjoyed yourself, you've ate a bit of rubbish, had a bit of enjoyment time. You know what I mean? Probably not been too too strict on yourself. You know what I mean? And you've just mentally refreshed yourself. You know what I mean? Because if you do train all year round, you don't have no time off. You don't have no family time. You become sick of the sport. You know what I mean? And as much as you can stay fit, you never push that barrier. Now, when you go back into camp, you've got all your times, all your things, what you've done, all your runs, what you've done from last camp, and then you've built your engine up again. Like you built your stuff up again, but then you give yourself targets to beat again. But you can't continuously do that all year round. You need to build yourself down to then build yourself back up again and peak again.
You talk about eating a bit of rubbish. What's your kind of choice? What do you miss when you're in camp?
You know what? I love chocolate and stuff, and obviously I like pie and mash and like food. But you know what? The more thing with me is like eating when you wanna, as much as you wanna, drinking as much as you wanna. You know what I mean? It's when you're a fighter, like it's funny because the whole time I was out in Gibraltar, there's 2 heavyweight fights. So I was like, bloody hell, look at them! Look, I'm jealous. Like they don't even really know what boxing is. They ain't got to worry about eating little portions of food and drinking not too much on fight week. They can just soak up the experience and enjoy it. You know what I mean, by the time I had the chance to think about enjoying Gibraltar, it was time to get on the flight back home. You know what I mean? The fight was done and it's time to get on the flight back home. So it's hard. It's nice to not have to be scowl watching and too strict on yourself. It's just, even if I'm eating good, you know what I mean? Because sometimes if you're eating good, you can still be heavy. Do you know what I mean? But it's eating the right amounts, the right times. I mean, I can now be in bed, wake up at 12 o'clock at night and think, oh, got an half a bit peckish. I can go down and grab a couple of chocolates or grab a knife, Lucas aid or something and get it down me. But I can't do that when I'm training. Do you know what I mean? When I'm training for a fight.
How far will you let yourself go over in terms of weight? Like, how much will you let yourself put on between camps?
You know what? I hate being out of shape. So I have about a week, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I've got to do something. I've got to go run. I've got to slow down on my eating because I don't like not being in shape and not being ripped and stuff. So
there's the man himself,
yeah,
Ted Jr.
He wants to make an appearance. What are you doing? You're making an appearance. You're doing headers.
Playing football, yeah.
That's what sport I want to do.
Yeah, football. Future Millwall captain. Yeah. Hello, Ted.
Say hello there. Not today. Daddy's hurting. You don't want the ball on his face.
He's loving it, isn't he? Look?
Yeah. It's nice to just have a bit of time with him, and do you know what I mean? Because usually, even sometimes when you're indoors and you're in camp, you're tired and thingy. So it's like, can you get the baby? Can you make sure he ain't like chucking all stuff at me, driving me mad? I just want to sit and relax. And so it's nice to just let him sort of have a bit of a free roam without me sort of having a bit of a moan at him or you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, see, I moan all the time at my son. I'm not even a boxer, so I've got no excuse.
Yeah.
To be fair, he does make my house look like an absolute tip at times.
Oh, I think it's every parent. I know. All
right, well, it's been great to catch up with you. I'll let you get back to it because you look like you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, can't wait till you've got another fight date lined up and we'll have another chat then.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dan. Appreciate it. All right, and I'll speak to you soon.
Sweet, mate. Cheers. And little Ted.
Yeah, I will do. Thanks a lot, mate.
Take care.
Bye.